Yesterday about this time, and had a pretty rough time getting out. Some wind against current. But once we got around Sledge Island, we could sort of bring the wind aft a little bit. It got a little easier, a little more manageable, but it's been pretty lumpy the whole time. Got this bit of a cross swell coming in from the west, which doesn't really help anything. Makes us roll around a bit. But moving fast. Tuesday evening though, the wind is supposed to come north and then east, which isn't so great. So have to get out the sat phone tomorrow, take another look at the weather and figure out what we're going to do, because going against something like this is not going to be a whole lot of fun, particularly when it's this cold, you know. It's just, I don't know. Everything gets harder when it's this cold and you're getting wet. A couple birds around, but I'm not sure why they don't do something sensible like fly south.
So it's gorgeous out, the sun came out, the seas lay down, smooth, nice sailing. It's just beautiful, a lot warmer than it has been. The only trouble is that we're going south and we should be going north. We looked at the weather forecast last night. It looks like it's just going to be northeast 25 to 30 knots and just building. So that doesn't sound like a lot, but it's like 100 to 150 feet throughout this whole sea. So that builds up a short, like steep waves that are really awful to try and fight against. Just hard on us and hard on the boat. So we decided to try and anchor up in some shelter and wait for southerly winds to push us north to Barrow. There's really no shelter up on that coast. We were only about 200 miles away when we were looking at the forecast, but there's nowhere to shelter in that 200 miles. So we had to come back south here to Point Hope. It's about 40 miles from where we were this morning, but has decent shelter from the northeast winds, so we'll wait there for the weather to change. so cool. It's full of like salmon and seagulls and spotted seals and murs and so many cool animals out here.
Okay, so we're here in Point Hope, Alaska, about 150 miles north of the Arctic Circle on the west coast of Alaska. It's been a really cool place to discover. We didn't even know there was a town here. On our chart it just says ruins. Turns out it's a pretty big town actually, and it's been fascinating meeting people here and exploring the area.
So we just met some people this morning, Inupiaq people who are showing us around this old village here, this old whaling culture. They built their houses out of whale bones and sod and actually lived in them until like the mid-1950s. The guy who was showing us around was born in one of them. And he showed us this one that's still intact and you can go into. It's really cool to see all these whale bones that hold it up. It's just really cool in here. And he was telling us about where I just came in is the summer entrance, and then in the winter they would actually drop down from this hatch up here into it. Really neat. And it's just been so cool to wander around the tundra, and it's just beautiful. These grasses and wildflowers everywhere, and little songbirds, and this beautiful snowy owl that we've been seeing around, and started chasing it around to get some pictures of him because it's just a gorgeous creature.
Yeah, and then on the point here, we were just taking some pictures of the spotted seals that hang out right around the point there and chase salmon. The salmon run up the side of this peninsula here and then around the point with the current. Current runs about like 3 knots around the point there. So we've taken pictures and all the seabirds too, picking up the scraps. It's been a really interesting place and a nice place to slow down a little bit.
Yeah, we were really rushing originally, trying to get all the way to Herschel Island on the Canadian border, up in the far north, and it was just really rushed, and I don't think we were really enjoying it that much. So it's nice to be forced to slow down and wait for the weather, and get to know a place and the people who live here. It's just been really cool. Actually, they still live a pretty traditional lifestyle. We met some teenage boys yesterday, took them out to the boat and show them around, and they were telling us about drying fish down on the beach here and whaling in the spring, and so it's pretty cool to see. Driftwood here, which is kind of amazing because we're miles and miles from where there's any forest, and there's these huge logs which must have come over from Siberia, but they just go all along the beach, and we're hundreds of miles, maybe thousands of miles from the nearest forest. It's pretty cool. There's also tons of animal bones everywhere. There's this spinal vertebrae found here. Looks like it might be a walrus, I don't know. And the dry tundra just seems to preserve everything forever and ever. I mean, I've seen these bowhead whale jawbones that must have been here for thousands of years. And it's the oldest continuously inhabited village in North America, so this whaling culture has been here for a long, long time. Found these wild peas out here. They're actually pretty tasty.
checking weather and email here. We've got a wireless router which is hooked up to our sat phone. The sat phone then also has an external antenna there, so we don't get dropped calls at all. That keeps it working pretty well with no trouble so far. Okay, so we're downloading some grid files for motions here using the WeatherNet software. So what I've done is just select the area I'm interested in. Here we are. Right there is Point Hope, and up here is Barrow, where we're trying to go. And then on the sort of left-hand panel here, I've selected that we want some grid files, and I'm also going to download an ice chart for the Western Arctic.
And it actually looks fairly decent by Barrow here, where we want to get in. Looks like it's cleared up quite a bit. Of course, Necton said that the Dutch boat Necton said that they actually got stuck around in here where it looks clear. So we'll have to be careful. But that's sort of our goal, is the northernmost point of America and seeing some of the Arctic animals that live up there. So the little arrows here point where the wind is going. So the little fletches are from where the wind is coming from towards where it's going. And each one of the fletches is 10 knots of wind. So we're thinking that we might leave on Tuesday. We want to get into the Barrow Lagoon really before this big low shows up. It's sort of starting here on Saturday, and it gets pretty bad by Saturday night.